All right, since we did the skeleton, I want us to attempt this question from a past paper. So it says in the question, figure 4.0 shows muscles and bones of the forearm of a human being. So remember when we were talking about the skeleton, we have the skeleton has got the axioskeleton and we have the appendicular skeleton. The axioskeleton makes up our skull, the thorax cage, and all those regions. And for the appendicular, it makes up the limb region where we have the upper limb, which is basically your arm, and the lower limb there. That is what makes up the appendicular skeleton. So here is the question. The question says, identify from this bone of the forearm of a human being, identify muscle T. So they want you to identify this muscle T. So this muscle T is known as the extensor muscle, which is also known as the triceps. Okay, so this one is the tricep, and the one which is here is known as the bicep or the flexor muscle. And then finally, we have this bone here, which is known as the scapula, and this one is our ulna. Okay, so here the question is saying identify muscle T. So muscle T is our tricep muscle, and then they want us to identify bone U. So bone U is our ulnar bone, and then the question continues by saying what term is given to the pair of muscles T and R. So you know to say muscle T and muscle R are known as antagonistic muscles because they act opposites to each other. When this one is contracting, this one is relaxing, and when this one is relaxing, this one is contracting. So that antagonistic or opposite action between the two is known as the antagonistic action. So here what term is given to the pair of muscles? These are antagonistic muscles. Then let's move on. Name one other pair of muscles in the human body. So apart from the ones which are the biceps and the triceps, where else do you think we have antagonistic muscles in the human body? Okay, I've given you 10 seconds to try that one out. So when we talk about the human body, that is, by the way, your time is up. So when we talk about the human body, the other place where we can find antagonistic muscles, we find them, remember, when we were talking about the eye, we said the iris has got secular and radial muscles. So those muscles in the iris are also antagonistic muscles. Apart from the iris, we also talk about those ones which are found on your alimentary tract, as or those that are found along the tract of your esophagus when you are swallowing your food bolus. Remember, we have the longitudinal and the secular muscles in that region when peristalsis is happening. So that is where we find another pair of antagonistic muscles. So we have those that are found in the iris, which are the secular and the radial muscles. So this marks the end to this question. I think you can feel free to post in the comment box if you have any questions or if you have any past year papers you want us to revise together. Otherwise, have a blessed time and bye bye.